Now, John, you have a claim to fame.
I have, Ollie, yeah.
What did you do?
In 2012, I wrote the article. I submitted an article to the Irish Times extolling the virtues of Westport and making a pitch for Westport to be voted the best place to live in Ireland. And I couldn't believe it because we actually came out on top in the end, so it was great.
And how did you find out about it?
I found out about it in dribs and drabs because, as you know, I'm a good man for the hills, and I can remember twice being out on the hills when in Connemara when I got the phone call from Cliona Mooney in the Irish Times to say that we had reached the final 25 places in Ireland, and then I got another call a couple of weeks later to say that we were down to the final 10, and sure, then the next thing it was down to 5, and I couldn't believe this at all. So on the day of the Westport Festival, in the music festival down in Westport, on the grounds of Westport House in 2012, the call came in the morning from Kathy Sheridan. I was getting my photograph taken for the Mayo News down in the Mall by Michael McLaughlin. And of course, I thought it was just for the Mayo News at the time. Yeah. But about an hour or two later, I got a call from Kathy Sheridan, the journalist with the Irish Times, to say that Westport had won it. And sure, I was over the moon.
I bet you were over the moon.
I was, but I couldn't tell anyone. I was
For how long?
For the whole day, because until the paper went to press that night at midnight or whatever or something, But
so you made a pitch.
It was great. I did.
And what did you say in your? I don't want to know the whole thing.
Less than 250 words. Well, basically, I highlighted the fact that Westport is such a wonderful community to live in, and it has produced so many voluntary organisations, like for such a small town. I mean, I forget the number. Was it 90-something? 94, yeah. Sure, it's unbelievable.
And they all pull together.
And everyone pulls together, exactly,
That's
Ali. Exactly.
Seems to be the big feature here.
That is the big feature here. It is indeed, and as you know, and I don't mind saying it because people in Ennis that have come up to me and said it to me, they said, "Why didn't you write about Ennis?" Quietly, they have admitted to me that one of the reasons that Ennis kind of doesn't kind of win big events or stuff like that as a town is the fact that a lot of the people don't actually pool their resources. They don't pull together as much as we would here. But it's not fair, I suppose, to compare the two populations. Would be very different and everything. But
So you're a Coffey. You were born here.
I was born here. I was indeed, yeah, born and raised here.
Did you go to school here?
I did. I went to the CBS down in.
Where'd you go to national? Which national school did you go to?
Christian Brothers National School and Christian Brothers Secondary School.
Yeah. Who taught you down there?
Oh, Sean O'Malley and Paddy Gallagher and a few of the brothers and
so these
Martin Maguire.
These fellows weren't much older than yourself, were they?
I'll go here then. Well, I'm glad to know that some of them are still around anyway.
Yeah, I think they're all around. A lot of them are around anyway. Yeah. Sean is still around doing great work.
He is in Kenya.
And all these places.
That's right, yeah, he is indeed.
So what did you do after that?
After that I went to, UCG as it was at the time, it's now NUIG, and I did a BSc in chemistry, Master's in chemistry, and I was still fairly young, so I felt I'd stay on and do postgraduate. So I did a PhD then in organic chemistry under Professor Nellie Lee in Galway.
What year did you finish that?
I finished that in 82.
82.
Yeah, and I started work on the 1st of November 82 down in what was then Syntex, in Clarecastle, just outside Ennis in County Clare. And believe it or not, I'm there ever since. Now, they were taken over by Hoffman Laroche in 94, and they're still there, luckily enough, so I work there as a chemist.
The famous one was Naprosyn, was it?
Exactly. We were a one-trick pony for a long time. For about the first 15 or 20 years, our main product was Naprosyn, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory.
And was it made in Ennis?
But it was made in Ennis, it was indeed.
For the world?
It was, for the world market. It was a big
code for it.
It was actually.
And you like the hills?
I still do. I like the hills. Yeah, I try to get out as often as possible. Indeed. Yeah, I'm a member of the Clare Outdoor Club now for over 20 years, and we divide our time between Kerry and Connemara. So, and of course the Burren. So it's good to get out. Yeah.
You bring a few up to Westport now and again.
I do indeed. Yeah. Anytime we have weekends away, we organise a few trips. We've been in Westport and Achill and Renville a couple of times, and also out in Roundstone. So yeah, we've come up to the west a good bit.
What do you like about hill climbing?
I just love the freedom of it, being out in the open spaces and being able to just look at some of the most beautiful scenery that we have, the wild places, as the Abbot referred to them there in the book launch that we've just been attending here in Hotel Westport. I love the wild places, just places where there's very few houses, just the landscape. That's what appeals to me most.
Plenty of it around here, isn't it?
There is.
Absolutely.
There is.